Hello, everybody, and welcome to Malaga Insiders. It's a voice that you may have forgotten about and you haven't heard in a long time. My name is Alex Ashmore, and we're here, of course, to bring you all the latest news on Malaga Club de Football and keep you up to date with what's going on the Costa del Sol. I'm not alone today. I'm joined by my very good friend on the south coast of Spain, I should say, Mr. Chris Marquez. Chris, how are you doing, sir?
Alex Ashmore. Wow, what a surprise. You're alive.
I am alive. I am alive. It's been a busy couple of weeks. What with, well, the season starting, Champions League has just got underway last week, and well,
Ballon
with
d'Or. Ballon d'Or. Don't forget the Ballon d'Or.
Ballon d'Or, of course, last night that was the talk of the town. Usman Dembele winning it, and well, yeah, it's been busy, but it's good to be back.
But Alex, do you think Dembele is the rightful winner of the Ballon d'Or?
No, well, I think he's one of maybe two or three acceptable winners. He
Shall I
wouldn't have
give you
been my
mine?
choice.
I'll give you mine.
You, you give me yours.
But you're the big sports journalist, so correct me if I'm wrong. My number one would be Mo Salah.
Okay, okay. I can accept Mo Salah. I think my maybe grievance with Mo Salah is the fact that Liverpool did go that far in the Champions League.
But they won the Premier League.
They did win the Premier League. That is true. Um,
I think it's easier for Paris Saint-Germain to win the French league
oh,
than it is
100%.
for Liverpool to win the Champions League.
Yes, but I think, well, I haven't said my pick yet. I think Dembele, I think fair enough that he won it behind that. But my pick would have been Rafinha.
Yeah, I can understand that. I
I
think
think
Lamine
what he
Yamal.
did for Barcelona,
Yeah,
I can
Lamine
see
Yamal.
Lamine Yamal.
No, I can't see it because his last season wasn't so great. I think he will
I think
get
it was
his
still
moment.
good, but I think it was. I think it will. I think he had a good season, but I don't think he had a good of a season as say Salah, Rafinha, or Dembele.
I totally agree. I
And
totally
maybe
agree.
you could put Vitinha in there as a shout, as an outside shout. But we are, of course, here to talk about Malaga. And well, maybe one day there'll be a Malaga player that's getting nominated for the Ballon d'Or. Who knows, Chris? In 15 years' time, do you back it?
Oh, I think La Rubia will be nominated next season already.
Woof. Maybe the Copper Trophy. Let's not push him too much, but let's get into things. And we'll start
Yes.
off by talking. We have to talk about it, unfortunately. Malaga lost 1-0 to Cadiz at the weekend at La Rosaleda. Chris, were you there for starters?
Yes, I was there. I
Have you
was
been to
there. Met
every home game so far this season?
everyone, each one. I didn't go to the preseason match against Betis.
Okay, well, that's understandable. Preseason will let you off on that one.
Yeah.
First of all, let's start off, I guess. I mean, pre-match coming into it, how did you feel? Were you confident? Yeah, I think some of the results recently haven't been what we wanted. I think you can go back to the draw with Granada. I remember sitting with my dad, listening or watching the game and thinking, yes, Malaga are 2-0 up, brilliant. And then it came back to 2-2, and every time I said, "Oh, Granada have scored again," my dad was like, "What? Again? How?" How are you feeling coming into this game? Looking at the lineups, obviously when they came out, what were your expectations?
A bit strange. Do you ever had the moment where you're confident and a bit scared at the same time?
Yeah, yeah. I think there's a
I think
mix
I
there
felt like
that's
that.
usually quite common.
Cadiz has quite a good team. They are known for their good wingers. The most goals come from the wing. So but I also felt confident because Malaga at home is Malaga has a good squad, has good players. When I saw the starting 11, I was pretty happy actually. I saw Nino playing together with Chupe, so two strikers. Darko Brezinac was on the starting 11. Maybe you can tell us a bit more about him because you know him better than we do. We guess, and I think the lineup made sense in a way that I was quite happy. And Einar was back in the starting 11, and that's what I said last week. I mean, we have to play Einar some moment at some point this season. So I was pretty happy.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, Darko, obviously, having seen him with Leganés last season, and I think getting to know him as a person, interviewing quite a few of the Leganés players over the season, speaking to him every now and then. And I think he's a very good player. I think he's a very good addition to this Malaga side. I think, obviously, as usual, new signings will take time to adapt and they'll take time to bed into the squad. But I do think a good player to add to the squad in terms of experience.
Were you surprised with the signing of Darko?
I was actually in a little bit. I think for Leganes, obviously they have aspirations to go right back up. That maybe hasn't quite gone to plan. But I think when you look at how Malaga have gone about their business this summer, I think it's probably been the first summer where you thought,
We've lost Alex Ashmore.
well,
Alex,
I think you lost
we've
me
lost
briefly,
you.
momentarily.
You are in the biggest city of Spain, in the number one city of Spain. You work for this
I
big.
should.
You work for this big African. Uh, yeah, what is it? Media company, and we've lost you.
I think I can blame my phone on that one. So apologies to anyone listening. No, I think, yeah, I was maybe surprised to see Darko come to Malaga. I was surprised maybe that some other team didn't snap him up for the experience. But I think when you look at how he's been playing or how he played last season for Malaga, sorry, for Leganes, I think he offers a really good level of experience to this Malaga squad that is quite youthful.
Okay.
So, yeah, overall happy.
We are.
Let's get into things. I mean, I'm going to
Yes.
start off with the goal, Ortuño. I think listening to the commentators, they mentioned him when the teams were coming out. And well, first of all, what did you make of the goal, Chris? Do you think it was against the run of play? Do you think Malaga deserved to? What do you think Cadiz deserved the lead? And I think, not that I want to put this too much into the limelight and maybe give this the light of day that we probably shouldn't. Well, we should, but can you blame Alfonso Herrera?
Maybe a bit, but do you blame somebody who saves you those many goals? I mean, doing a Malaga podcast, it's quite boring because we're always telling the same things, isn't it? How great Alfonso Herrero is, and if he makes a mistake, well, yeah, it sucks a bit. In my opinion, he does. Well, it's not that he makes a mistake; it's a ball he could have. It's not an unstoppable goal. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I completely get what you mean. I think,
Uh,
well, he's human. He's human. We have to understand that.
What I didn't get, and I said I was happy with the lineup. I was happy with the lineup for a part because Pellicer said Friday on his press conference that Adrian Nino could be fit on time for the match. If you have a player who isn't that fit during the week and who didn't train for several days, why do you start with him? That's the thing I don't get because now he's injured again. And he left the pitch after 30 minutes. Alex?
Yeah. No, I'm just I was waiting to see if you were going to add something on to the end of that,
No.
but no, I think I completely get it. I think when you look at over the weekend, not to bring in the Premier League again, but Noni Madueke for Arsenal, Cole Palmer for Chelsea against Manchester United. It seems to be a thing that we're seeing quite a lot now across the leagues, whether you're in Segunda or whether you're in the Premier League. I obviously understand why he wanted to play him,
Yeah, but
but
you change system again, and that's the thing that strikes me a bit. We're changing plan. We're changing our game plan towards the rival, and I think Malaga just find their own way of playing and keep with that. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm,
We're changing too much.
yeah. Do you think that's perhaps been Pellicer trying to? I mean, you look at the results. We haven't started the season badly. 2 wins, 2 draws, and 2 losses, but it's definitely been something that we know we can improve on. Do you think that's him still trying to find his best 11?
But you have preseason to find your best 11. I mean,
No, but I
he's
mean,
changing,
even we see Xabi Alonso. I don't think he's found his best 11 with Real Madrid.
he's changing his best 11. Well, his striker every week again. Then Chupe, then Adrianinho. I don't think football works that way.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think you've got to give it some consistency, and you've got to give those strikers the opportunity to score. And well, playing is the main way that you do that. And I think,
Yeah, and then we play
well,
Dani Sanchez, then we play Victor, then he's playing, then that person is off. I mean, we change too much.
yeah,
I think you have to come to a point where you, and of course Malaga had a lot of injuries already, and we are six matches in, but you can't. I mean, you have to. I don't know. You have to
yeah,
stick to a starting 11.
you have to be consistent. And
Yeah,
well, we've seen as that goes on at half time. I mean, we talk a little bit more about the goal, Chris. I mean, in terms of the run of play in the context of the first half, do you think that the first half with the goal, I don't think other than the goal, there wasn't much going on in the first half, but do you think Cadiz deserved the lead at the 45-minute mark?
if I'm honest, yeah, I think so because Malaga was holding back a bit. I didn't see Malaga create much. We got one chance from I think it was Dani Lorenzo who, as Paul said, hit an airplane who was about to land in Malaga. It's I don't know. There's no tempo in Malaga's play. No pace, no ideas. It's Malaga isn't being very creative. It's always, and I'm going to say it again, say it every week. It's a ball to the side. It's a ball backwards. Um, I don't know. I think there is a problem with this team, and I don't know what it is. Pellicer said this could be his last season, or it probably is his last season. So he wants to give a bit more, and he wants to play different. But I didn't see it. I don't see it yet. I see the same Malaga I've seen last season.
Are you blaming Pellicer for that, or do you think the players share in that blame?
I don't. You know what the thing is? Over the past 3 seasons, I have questioned Pellicer 10 times. I mean, till till what point am I going to question? I think that it's a problem there. I think we don't have the players to play this football. I think we need to find our style of playing. And the other day, I said to my friend watching the football in the stadium, I said, when was the last time Malaga had a counter attack? And I just can't remember. It's always ball back, ball to the side, and you take so many pace in it. There's no creativity to forward, and I think that's the biggest problem.
Well, you say that it did end 0-0. Oh, sorry, 1-0 at half time. We did make some subs. Doctor, obviously, Dani Sanchez, Brasanac, and Victor Garcia being the sacrifices in that sense. Were you happy with the changes at the half time? Do you think they were enough? Do you think that was what was needed?
I think changes are needed, but taking Dani Sanchez off is, in my opinion, a strange substitution because he's the best. I mean, he's a guy that can go forward as well. And you know that Cadiz is a team that pretty much play counter football. They all are in their own area, defending of playing defense. It's a defensive team. I don't know. I didn't see that though that much, but they were probably at some points in the second half. There were more people of Granada behind the ball than in front of the ball.
Well, coming into the second half, you look at, well, I think as Paul put it on the WhatsApp group, that is the only half that was really entertaining. Did you see, from your point of view, you talked about how obviously Malaga are playing slowly and playing from side to side, and it lacks that, I think, oomph is the word, although it's not even a word, that something, that extra something. Did you see an improvement in the second half?
Maybe a tiny bit, but it still went all very slow. And you know when you every second you lose um, having the ball, it's time that your opponent can regroup themselves and put themselves in reposition themselves. So you're only making it harder. I mean, there's no creativity. I mean, La Rubia always goes inside, um, and everybody does the same trick over and over again. And yes, we had the chances. We had several chances. I mean, Eneko had a wonderful chance, but he decided to try and hit the corner flag. Um, I don't know why. Maybe that's the thing to do now. No, he hit it very wrongly when he just came on the pitch. Chupe had a massive chance. There was a header. Malaga had the chances, but if you don't make them, yeah, you don't win or you don't draw.
Well, talking of chances, I want to mention the big moment of the second half, the possible double penalty, the foul on Lobete, and then the handball slash rugby tackle slash, I don't know what it was, on Rafa. Are you what was your reaction to it in the stadium? Could you really see it from where you
No,
were? Did you think this is going to be a penalty? And what happened? Talk us through it.
well, you see, because throughout the match you see several times Malaga players asking for penalties, and I have to see it on TV or I have to see the like the actual thing from close. But this, when I saw this back on Sunday night when I got home, I was stunned, Alex, because it's not one penalty, it's not a double penalty. There are three fouls in the same action in the same time period of 1 second. So you must be very very blind not to see it, or doing a lot, or trying a lot not wanting to see it.
What would
Because it's
you
crazy because the first foul on Lobete, for me it's a penalty. You can doubt it, but for me it's a penalty because that's a foul. Then the ball ends up with at Rafa's feet, or almost, because a player from, and that's also what Paul said, he called it a great save.
except he wasn't the
You
one
need
wearing the gloves?
to Alex, because he hits the ball with his hand, but because he maybe doubted that it was enough, with his dive towards the ball, he also makes a foul with his, I don't know, with his head or with his elbow, and that's also a foul. So I see 3 penalties in 1 second, and I'm starting asking myself, because I don't very much believe in conspiracy theories. But I mean, at what point, Alex, during a season, is it allowed to to get the idea of it might be not being all unlucky, or because I'm getting a bit, my aluminium head foil is already I'm building it. It seems to go,
Yeah.
last week. It all seems to go against us.
Why do you think that is consistently with VAR in the division that the referees continue to make decisions like that?
The problem is I only watch Malaga. I see highlights, but in the highlights you don't see anything. I see the
But
highlights of other matches.
I'll tell you now, it's happening across up and down Spain, not just in second division, in La Liga, everywhere.
But it's every week. Last week in Huesca, before Huesca scores a goal, there's a foul 2 meters away from the linesman. I mean, I've criticized VAR a lot, and I still don't think the way VAR is being, they work with VAR is the right way, or it's still failing VAR, and not only in Spain, not only Malaga, but throughout the whole world, probably. So I know that. I know that the quality of referees, and you can't blame them, in Segunda is not the, you won't see the best referees uh, refereeing a match in Segunda División. I
Well,
mean,
that's
let's
why
be,
we have VAR, isn't it?
yeah. But then when everything fails, I mean, when you don't see it with the TV camera, when three guys don't see it on the TV, Alex, and it's every week with Malaga, every week. I don't know how to explain it.
It is. It's difficult, and I think you're right. I mean, it's not just in Segunda. We see it in La Liga every week. We see it. The prime example, I think it was second week of the season, Rayo Vallecano against Barcelona. The system for VAR was down for the first 40 minutes, and
Yeah,
Lamine Yamal, with that tackle that wasn't a foul, it was given a penalty, and then that was the reason why Barcelona scored the goal that they did, and they drew the game. You see it this time with Malaga, the three tackles. If you're being strict, if you're being harsh, you'd say there's only two, but that's still two in the space of 5 seconds. The handball and then the foul leading up to the handball. For that, for neither of them to be given, for me is baffling.
it's
And yeah,
crazy. And you know what the thing is? Without VAR, I mean, you understand it, right? Because the referee can't see everything happening on the pitch. There is that frame of occasions where he can make a foul, because we're all human and we can all
yeah.
make mistakes. But when there is a television, Alex, a television where four people watching on a moment back on 10 screens, they're not using one screen, they're using 10 or 20 screens. I don't know how many they use. If you don't then get it wrong, how do you explain it, Alex? Because I can't explain it anymore.
No, it's baffling, and it feels like it'll be this not just this week. It will happen again at some point. Could be next week, if not the week after, and it gets tiresome
And,
after a while.
and the thing I've noticed last Sunday, I hope other people noticed it as well. Every time something happened, there was this penalty moment. The referee directly said, "No, no, nothing. Play on, play on." If you have a system like VAR, be happy, use it. Because if I was a referee, I wouldn't like to make a mistake. It's arrogancy or any. I don't get it.
Mm.
I really don't get
Yeah.
it.
Well,
So yeah, Malaga tried tried in the second half, because I'm also done with this matter. Every week in, week out, I have to talk about VAR. I know some of our listeners are done with VAR, and I know this whole debating about the referee VAR is getting a bit boring, and I also find it boring. But every week we have these situations where you say, "Is it me?" Or is it the football fans or the Malaga fans? Are we biased? I don't know anymore what to think.
yeah, it's the age-old question, which unfortunately we'll never know. Well, we won't know for a long time, I don't think. Um, Should we try and end? I mean, end on a positive note with this one. I mean, looking at the game, anything else that you want to call
Yeah,
out?
maybe how
Or
Malaga tried the last 15 minutes to try and force a goal out. Created some chances. What I've said, Neko missed head opportunity. Chup had opportunity. Malaga was really trying, and I think Malaga deserved a draw at least.
Mhm.
Um, but then I think if you play good for 20 minutes and you push for 20 minutes, it's not enough. You know what I mean? And now it's the last 20 minutes, and we don't, and we weren't able to score. At Granada, we had a first, uh, 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 the first half was pretty good, and then we all threw it overboard in the second half. I don't know. I think a team, you can't be playing on full for 90 minutes, but I think you should be able to play 60 or 70 minutes good football.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I think, well, lots of things to improve on. Shall we end on the good and the bad? Your so-called man of the match, Chumbo Biznaga.
We haven't done them this season, but if I have to give a Chumbo, I would give it to a difficult one. I think Lobete. He went. Didn't see him much.
And your Biznaga or man of the match?
Difficult one. I'll give it to Danny Lorenzo.
I'm against the grain. I'm going to go for Alfonso Herrera for my Chumbo. I don't think he had an awful game, but I feel like he was at fault for the goal. And then I'm going to go for Rafa. I just feel like, as my Biznaga, just a little bit of life and energy as he always does. He tries hard. Sometimes you feel sorry for him up there, and you think, if only there was a system that we played that got more out of him. And well, that I suppose we won't know until there's another person in the dugout. Well, I think that just about wraps things up with Cadiz, Chris, unless you want to say anything else before we move on to positive news, more positive things.
Let's go to positive things.
Let's go to the news. Do you want to? Which one do you want to kick off with?
Well, one thing, and I don't think it's in the agenda, but one thing I don't know if people have noticed, but there was a guy doing the warming up again in the second half and also in the first half.
And he
So
goes
he's
by
on
the
his
name
way back.
of.
Haitam.
There you go. Do we
So
know
that's
when he'll be back, or when have the club said in terms of when he'll be maybe back to playing?
he has been injured for the past 3 seasons. Every time he came back, he got injured again. I would be very, very careful with him. Bring
Yeah,
him very slowly. I wouldn't bring him probably till Christmas.
but good to see him warming up.
Yeah, but it was fun to see him back doing his warming up in the stadium on a match day.
Yes. And on the topic of other exciting young players that we like to see, Ethan Marino is going to the under-20s World Cup. Are
Yeah,
you? I mean, I think we're all delighted for him, obviously, as Malaga fans. How excited are you to see Malaga's youngsters, and I think Ethan Merino being one of the examples being recognised by their national teams.
I think it's very important for Malaga. But now, because he already left, I believe, we also lose him for a month. And then I think, why don't you play those tournaments in summer when there's no football? That makes more sense than when leagues have started.
Like AFCON.
I mean, yeah. Don't we have summer for this?
We do. We do.
And I mean, the World Cup sub 20, the under 20, it's not something you have to schedule around the World Cup for teams. You know what I mean? You can play them together.
Yeah.
Nobody really watches the under 20.
You could even do it during the winter break.
Yeah.
I know in this case there will be players that come from England that will be lost to, players in England, of course, play through with their clubs through the Christmas and New Year period. But I feel like there are better times to do it.
This doesn't make sense for me. And it's mostly the lower league teams throughout Europe, throughout the world, who, who have players playing in the under 20s, under 21s. So it doesn't really hit the big leagues, does it?
No, it doesn't. I think obviously it's important that you have to respect every club, no matter what league they're in. And I think losing a player like Ethan Marino for a month, there'll be other clubs that have lost players for a month as well, and equally as important. So I think, on FIFA's management side of things,
if we don't host a World Cup like a normal World Cup and let the league go on, why does it? What's the difference with under the 20? I think I think it's ridiculous. Besides,
it's almost
I think World Cup and European Cups are more of summer tournaments.
Yeah, and I think as well it shows a lack of respect to the other teams, that you think, well, this isn't that important, so we're not going to stop club football for this. In other news, going around the grounds, Atletico Malagueño got their first point of the season against Cadiz. They are 15th, 2 points from safety. They're in the relegation zone. Malaga Femenino beat Real Betis B 4-0. They are 5 points off the top. Obviously, the table doesn't mean as much these days, but 2 positive results at the club, Chris.
Yeah, finally for Atletico Malagueño. Over the past weeks, they have been very close to get a point. But now finally they have their first point, and they're in a bit of a worrying situation because I don't think they got promoted last season. It's going to be a very tough season for them, and I hope they can maintain themselves, and that this point gives the courage and the how do you call it, the motivation to get more points.
Hopefully, fingers crossed, and we can get some good results for both of those teams. In more admin news, Malaga are training at the training grounds or the academy centre this week. As you said, Chris, the pitch that they usually train on is going under construction or improvements or works, and it is unavailable for this week. As far as we're aware, Chris, is that just for this week? It's not something that they're planning on making permanent?
It is for this week, but I have to say the plan is, and has always been, that the first team also was going to play from the academy grounds. They have their own pitch there, but the offices aren't ready yet, and the gym isn't ready, and all the other things around the football pitch aren't ready yet. So
for the moment, it's a temporary
for the
change.
moment, I think what the club said, they are planning and hoping, if it's possible, to move from the actual training place to the new one at La Academia next season. But it isn't sure yet.
Okay, well, fingers crossed that gets moved along swiftly. In injury news, Joaquin Munoz is still out, and we obviously, Malaga has been a club that's been quite unlucky with injuries over the last couple of years. Chris, when can we expect Joaquin Munoz to return? Do we have a timeline on that?
I don't know. A couple of weeks, I think, at least.
Okay. So still working his way back to full fitness, Joaquin Munoz. Now there are one left actually, and you brought this up just before we came on, Chris. Malaga, it's been recently revealed that Malaga have the fifth biggest salary in the second division, 11.7 million euros. In a bigger picture, Malaga are 11th in the table with 8 points. Do you think that 11.7 million euros has been well spent? I know it's salaries, it's not transfer.
And that's a bit the question, right? Because when you hear the biggest or the fifth biggest salary cap, that means Malaga should have a great team. I don't know. It doesn't say anything, I guess. Yeah, that you spend probably, or you're able to spend more money than other clubs. It doesn't say anything, Alex. I mean, how much does Juanpe earn? How much?
It just means you're paying players more than other teams, and perhaps
numbers.
It means
those numbers doesn't give you anything.
No, I think there's no direct, or there shouldn't be a direct correlation between higher salary cap and results. You'd expect it usually, but I think when you look at, I mean, do you have the figures there in front of you?
No.
So you would expect between 5th and maybe 18th. I can't imagine there's a massive difference, or 20. I can't imagine there's a massive difference between top and bottom.
I don't know. I guess there is there's quite a difference between top and bottom.
I mean, there is obviously, but I think in terms of maybe 5th and 12th or whatever, I don't think there's a huge difference.
It's not a gap like let's say Getafe and Real Madrid.
No, exactly. It's.
You know what this numbers say, Alex?
What does that say to you?
This moment, this news is for these stats are for the end of the season for Quique Perez and our friend Jose Maria Munoz, and the end of the season to evaluate the work of Loren Juarez. We had a salary cap of 11.7, the 5th biggest in the league. This is how we've done. This is what our players have shown, and I think you should use that information for his evaluation. But I don't think we can really take something from it. Maybe that Malaga is financially pretty well.
Maybe. Well, I think in light of what's been happening in the last 10 years, I think it's something that we can welcome, financial health. So I think with that, it draws to conclusion our news section for this week. There's been as I feel like has been said on this podcast many a time over the years, it's actually been a nice quiet week in terms of off the field things with Malaga. Chris, should we talk a little bit about Burgos?
We have to, I guess.
But first, rather than us talking about it, should we let someone who knows a lot more about it talk about it? Mr. Alex Fitzpatrick of the Spanish Segunda podcast. Or the Spanish Segunda show, as I should say.
Yeah, let's bring him in.
Take on Burgos this weekend and travel to El Plantillo, a difficult place to go and a difficult team to play against, a tough team to beat. They've lost only once this season and are undefeated at home. A really good atmosphere in El Plantillo week on week, which leads to a bit of a hostile atmosphere for the travelling players to play in. Ramis, the coach, he will tend to play a 4-4-2, 4-2-3-1, very solid, very controlled. Fer Nino at the moment is in great form for them up front, bagging a few goals already this season and well on his way after only 6 games to beating his total number of goals scored last season. They're very solid in defence, They have quite a predictable lineup. I wouldn't expect that there would be many changes at all in their lineup, apart from maybe Inigo Cordoba, one of their most skillful players, coming in on the left-hand side. He's a talent indeed. They will play the ball through the wings quite a lot, look to get crosses in to Fernino, and Curos Sanchez is another one to watch out for them. That's Malaga taking on Burgos this weekend.
Well, there you have it. Malaga against Burgos at the El Plantillo in Burgos this weekend. It's been for Burgos a good start to the season. 2 wins, 3 draws and a loss. As Alex has said, Fernino, the danger man, with 3 goals. They've got 9 points. They're 1 point above Malaga in 9th. Chris, looking at Burgos as an opposition, what's your initial thoughts? How are you looking forward to this game? Are you seeing a game in which Malaga should be content with coming away with a point, or do you think this is a game where we should be looking to pick up all 3?
I think it's going to be a very difficult game. We always find it hard to play against Burgos. Their manager is, of course, Luis Miguel Ramis, a good manager, if you ask me. It's going to be a very tough match. And if we look at, of course, their Nino is a bit different than our Nino, because they have Fernino and we have Adrian Nino. So they have a very experienced striker and a very good striker. They play a 5-4-1. And yeah, not much to say, I guess, about them. 5-4-1.
In terms of Malaga, Chris, obviously apart from the injuries, what changes, if any, would you like to see Sergio Pellicer make to the starting 11 for this weekend? And on top of that, tactically, what do you think he should be looking to do?
Well, I was going to ask you, Alex, because Alex said they're playing with mostly over the wings with a 5-4-1. How would you play against the 5-4-1?
I mean, it's difficult. I think when you're looking at a team like that, they'll obviously be playing wide, as you said. They'll be stretching the defence. They'll be looking to go in behind. They'll be putting balls through. They'll be making us work hard. I think we have to be on it from the get-go, as we always have to be in games. But I think even more so against a side like Burgos, we know how difficult, as you said, we found it travelling to Burgos. And as I can tell you, living in Madrid, it's starting to get a little bit cold. I can imagine this weekend in Burgos, it might be a little bit chilly. I don't know if it's going to rain, but we have to be solid defensively. And I think I asked you the question, should we be happy with a point? I think a point away to Burgos at this stage of the season is a really good point. So you come into this, I'm not saying you should lay down arms and put your backs against the wall and defend for 90 minutes long, because that invites pressure. But I think you have to be realistic that this team is going to be a team that's going to be controlling the game. They're going to be the one putting the balls down the wings. They're going to be looking to stretch the defence. And I think you have to look to play on a counter-attacking basis. And you said it, Chris, we haven't seen Malaga play in a counter-attacking way for a while. But I think that has to be the approach here, because otherwise, if we look to try and take the game to Burgos, I could see us being picked off and it could get embarrassing. So, yeah, I think solid defensively and look to get the chances on the counter-attack with the pace that we can use. And I think we do have.
We don't know anything on Adrian Nino yet, but I would try and play with a 4-4-2 in this situation.
Quite compact.
Sorry?
Quite compact.
Yes and no. Yeah, maybe. Why? Because I think a 4-4-2, because they have a 5-4-1. I think it's better to play with 4 midfielders, because else you always, or 5-4-1 as well, because else you have one midfielder less on the pitch. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But Malaga usually plays with 4 midfielders, So there's no worry there. I don't know. I think it's going to be a very difficult match. We have a lot of injuries. I don't know who should play. Um, Darko last Sunday. You can see that he's good, but he's still lacking a bit on on time of training time, or he was in form, but he misses some play time still. So it's going
Yeah,
to be a tough decision. I think it doesn't really matter if you play Einar or Recio at the back. I think they're both very good defenders. In my opinion, I would try and go with Dani Sanchez, because he also is dangerous. He's dangerous attacking wise, and I think if you play too defensively, and that's the thing against the 4-5-1 or 5-4-1, is that when you play too defensively, you are putting yourself. You're going to play more defensive football, and it will be harder to escape from it. And I think the best defensive is by attacking, trying to have the ball on the midfield. I think who wins the midfield has the most chances to win the match.
and I think that's something that we've seen Malaga struggle with, making use of that possession and being effective. I think you have to be effective if you're playing a team like Burgos. We know how dangerous Fernandinho is going to be. They haven't just got Fernandinho, they've got other outlets, players that have recorded 2 assists this season, players that have got close to Fernandinho in terms of goals. So I think it's going to be a very tough game. And as I said, it may be a little bit chilly. Burgos are also coming off a 1-1 draw with Granada. So they'll want to, I think they'll be motivated to get back to winning ways, and they'll try and pick up a win at their own, well, in front of their own fans, at their own grounds. And I think it'll be a tough one. And,
It will
well,
very difficult match.
we shall see.
But we also saw Malaga win against Las Palmas.
We did. So we've got to believe. And as the Malaga fans would say, si se puede. Before we move on to our last little bit, Chris, is there anything you would like to add on Burgos, or are you happy to move on to some culture?
I think it's time for to end the podcast on a nice culturally thing.
Let's
And
go for it.
For this week, I have something very special
Go on.
because it's more than a nickname. At dawn, when the sky above Malaga still glows faint pink, the fishermen return to the shore. Their nets are heavy with silver boquerones, the little fish that shimmer like coins in the morning light. For centuries, these anchovies were not just food, they were survival. In the days when Malaga was still a humble port town, boquerones were the most common catch. Small, plentiful, and affordable. They were the fish of the working classes, feeding dock workers, fishermen families, and laborers who needed strength for long days, while wealthier tables feasted on tuna or shellfish. Malaga's people turned to the little anchovy. Cheap to buy, quick to cook, it became the daily meal of the city's heart. The fishermen brought them to the shore, but they didn't carry them to the streets. That task fell to the cenachero, the fishmonger who brought the sea to the people, with 2 woven baskets, or in Spanish called cenachos. Balanced across his shoulders, he walked barefoot into Malaga's alleys, plazas, his voice ringing out, Boquerones frescos, recién salidos del mar. He was the bridge between the sea and the city. Mothers came out with coins, children ran alongside him, and kitchens filled with the sound of sizzling oil and the scent of lemon. 2 traditions emerged from these humble fish. Boquerones fritos, fried golden and eaten hot with a splash of lemon, and boquerones in vinagre, marinated in vinegar with garlic and parsley. Cool and refreshing on an Andalusian summer day. Born from necessity, these dishes became Malaga's culinary pride. Over time, the boqueron and the cenachero became inseparable symbols, the fish that fed Malaga and the man who carried it proudly on his shoulders. The barefoot cenachero eventually disappeared with the rise of modern markets. Malaga never let his memory fade. In 1964, sculptor Jaime Fernandez Pimentel immortalized him in bronze. Today, the statue El Cenachero still stands with his basket outstretched, offering the sea to the city for eternity. And the Boquerón, it rose from humble survival food to Malaga's emblem. Locals even took the name for themselves, Boquerones, as a badge of identity. Malaga's have chants in the stands. Families wear it with pride, and visitors come to taste it as a part of the city's soul. So when you eat boquerones in Malaga today, you're not just tasting a fish. You're tasting the history of fishermen at dawn, the footsteps of the cenachero through the streets, and the spirit of a city that found its pride in the smallest of silverfish.
Wow, a beautiful story. And you've made me very hungry, Chris.
I got hungry now as well.
Are you a boquerones fritos man or boquerones en vinagre?
I think
And
I'm more.
for our non-Spanish speakers, boquerones fritos, fried boquerones, fried anchovies, and boquerones en vinagre, boquerones anchovies in a vinegar. But I think to be
I'm
honest,
both. I'm more frito man.
I think I am, but I am very partial to a boquerones en vinagre.
Okay.
But it has to be, the frito has to be with limon.
So, I don't. You could also just eat lemon.
I know, but
Lemon
they
is
pair so well together.
has such a powerful taste that when I eat the boqueron with lemon, I only taste lemon.
No, but it pairs so well together, fish and lemon.
It's an endless discussion.
I like that bit of culture. That was very good. And I never knew the story about the man who used to come through the streets and sell his boquerones for the day. And it's very nice to hear that they've honoured him with a statue. Do you know where in Malaga it is?
Yes. It's very near the start of Calle Larios.
Okay. So if you're ever in Calle Larios, go and
Yes.
find that statue and send us a picture.
Send us a picture of it. It's a great statue.
It is. And while you're there, check out Calle Larios, because Calle Larios is beautiful.
And there's the new club store in Calle Larios. So you can buy
There you go.
your kit there.
Well, I think that just about wraps things up, Chris, for today. Is there anything else you want to add in before we say goodbye?
Like, subscribe. We have TikTok, we have Instagram, we have X, we have Facebook, we have Threads.
We're on YouTube, of course.
Yeah,
Spotify.
YouTube. You can also watch this. I've been watching most of the episode to a black screen. But yeah, follow us everywhere. If you like our content, because likes are important.
Yes.
And I think from now on we can also read your commentary, your comments on Spotify.
Yes, Spotify has added a new feature where you can comment and people can see those comments. So, as Chris said, leave us a like on YouTube, subscribe to our channel, follow us on Spotify, leave a comment, tell us what you think of the podcast, leave us a rating.
That's important, I guess, that people comment on the podcast. And it can be nice, we also accept not so nice.
We do, as long as they're aimed at Chris and not me.
Don't forget that Alex is a professional journalist when you review.
And yes, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, all the social media. If you get your podcast on iTunes, give us a review, 5 stars if you feel like it. And yeah, I don't think Chris has quite got round to uploading his boquerones cooking session yet, but maybe if you ask him enough in the comments, he'll cook some boquerones for you and upload a tutorial.
Sure.
Well, Chris, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for, well, having me back. And it's been a pleasure to be back. Thank you to everyone who's joined us for this and listened or watched. And, well, vamos Malaga for this weekend against Burgos. We will speak to you next week.
Everybody's happy to listen to your voice and to hear your back. And I can only hope we can hear you more often on the Malaga Insiders.
Yes. Well, for now, hasta luego.
Vamos Malaga.
From Sweden to the UK, down to the coast. We ain't locals, but we scream the most. La Rosaleda, second home.